Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are almost done with the book. I am actually really excited about this chapter. We're on chapter 9. We have been going through this book since June 1st. My goal and my hope is to help you understand the power of reading and fueling your mind right and making sure that just as much and as often as we talk about the power of food and how you don't want it to control you, but you are in control, and helping you understand what to eat and when to eat and all of those things, right? All of the things that have to do with our food, it is just as important to make sure that you're fueling your mind right. So I think oftentimes people just don't take into effect the power of the things that you're listening to, the power of the things that you're reading and watching and even speaking. That's something that's super important to us in our home, teaching our kids and helping them get their mindset correct and on the straight path. Because if this is right, guess what? Then making better decisions throughout the rest of your day you're going to find is going to be not easy, but simple, right? And so we are going to finish this almost. We're on chapter 9. And so I think this chapter is great. The next chapter we'll talk tomorrow is about 30. It's like a 30-day challenge if you choose to accept. And then I'll tell you what we're doing moving forward into the middle of June and then July. So how is your morning going? Where are you tuning in from? It is a beautiful, beautiful, sunny, hot day here in Minnesota. And if you are familiar with the weather here, if it gets above 90, it's usually rare. I feel like Minnesota usually sits between 80 and 85, and we have had 90-degree weather, and we will continue to have it. For us, that's like Texas at 120. I mean, for us, it is incredible, and we are loving the heat. What is it like where you're at? So we love it. It's pretty awesome. Can you tell the dogs to stop? I have 4 dogs, by the way. 4 dogs. We have 4 daughters. I have an amazing husband, and we all love to read. So let's dive in. This chapter is called From Unbearable to Unstoppable. So this is super good. Listen to this part. And if you're reading the book, what are you loving about the book? If you are just tuning in here every single day, you are more than welcome to, and we'll give you the very specific golden nuggets of the book. So in the very beginning, he says this: successful people aren't born that way. Do you guys ever look at somebody and you're like, oh, they're so successful. Oh, they were lucky. They were spoon-fed. All of the excuses, right? He says successful people aren't born that way. They become successful by establishing the habits of doing the things unsuccessful people don't like to do. Successful people don't always like doing these things themselves. They just get on with it and they get it done. They do them. They do the action no matter what. Oh, that's so good. Motivation is what gets you started. Habits are what keep you going. And so I think oftentimes we talk about this. People have this goal that's set before them, and they want to reach this goal. And he talks about it in here. He talks about New Year's resolutions and how many people set a resolution and then how many people actually finish the resolution. It's not about the wish, and it's not about even the goal setting, but if you don't have the systems in place to get you to where you want to go, guess what? The likelihood of accomplishing that goal or that dream or that vision, you need the systems, which is what he helps create. And then we're going to dive into this book starting on, we're going to start on Monday, which would be I don't even know. Somebody tell me. We're going to start this book on Monday. It is going to be incredible. So between his morning miracle, the miracle morning of getting up and doing a 60-minute, all of these things that he set before you go to work or before your kids get up or before your day starts, giving yourself 1 hour and doing all of the things, it is going to create systems that will keep you going to have the success that you want, right? And then this goes right into creating systems. So this is the book that we're going to go into the rest of June. I have to go let my dog out. So this is the book that we are going into, or we're finishing. And in the very beginning, he also says, our quality of life is created by the quality of our habits. You must identify, implement, and maintain these habits necessary for creating the results you want in your life, while learning how to let go of the negative habits which are holding you back from achieving true potential. So we've got to unlearn some things. I got to let a dog out. You have to unlearn some things, and then you're going to have to relearn some things. Then you're going to have to put these things into action, and then you're going to have to do it consistently over time to create a habit. That is what we're working on. Does that make sense? Are you guys loving the book, and are you putting it into action? Has anybody taken at least one thing, and maybe it was not hitting the snooze button. Maybe it was drinking a glass of water in the morning, brushing your teeth for the first thing you do. Are any of you doing the miracle morning? I would love to know. Anybody? And maybe you're doing the shorter version. There's a 6-minute to get you started, and then there's a 60-minute. Where are you at? So then the rest of the chapter talks about the New Year's resolutions. He talks about how there's 5% of people in the world that actually stick with the New Year's resolution. Why is it so difficult to implement and sustain the habits that we need to be happy, healthy, and successful? So he talks about how we are addicted to our bad habits, talks about how long it takes to create a habit. So he says the average, when they've done studies, say it's 21 days. He says the popular 21-day myth comes from the 1960s. There's a book, and he talks about how 21 days, it's 21 days to create a habit, 21 days. And he says, I beg to differ. He goes, I believe, and all of his conclusions of studying and watching people, he believes that it takes a change. You can change your habit within 30 days if you have the right strategy. And so that's where he gives you the strategy. He's going to talk to you about how can you become a master of your habits. So that's the rest of this chapter. Talks about the Miracle Morning 30-day habit mastery strategy. So that is the last of this chapter. Talks about phase 1. He goes day 1 through 10. So you've got 3 phases, day 1 through 10, day 11 through 20, and day 21 through 30. He goes, the first 10 days of implementing any new habit or getting rid of an old habit can feel unbearable. Although the first few days can be easy and fun and exciting because you're doing something new, as soon as the newness wears off, reality sets in. He goes, and then in people's minds, they hate it, right? And if you can last those 10 days, so he walks you through, if you can get through the temporary, like maybe you're super sore, or the temporary, like, oh, I wish I could have that chocolate, or that temporary feeling of unbearable, then you go into the next phase, phase 2, which is uncomfortable. So it's not unbearable anymore. You've gotten through it. You still might have this little like, can I do this? Do I want to do this? But you can, right? A lot of it is up here. He says, while days 11 through 20 are not unbearable, they are still uncomfortable and will require discipline and commitment on your part. Staying committed and do not stop. And then days 21 through 30 are the unstoppable. It's the last 10 days that if you can make it through the unbearable and then the uncomfortable, he says it does take 21 days, the first 2 steps are, but the third phase is the most crucial in sustaining your new habit long term. He says you will be proud of yourself, you will feel transformed, you will actually go from like unbearable to uncomfortable to going, oh, I've actually done it. You'll get this sense of pride. That's why the 30-day process is so important. He talks about his running, how he told his friend he hated to run, and his friend just said, just go do it. And within 30 days, how his mindset shifted. And so his goal in this book is to challenge you. He says, are you ready for true freedom? The Miracle Morning 30-day Life Transformation Challenge, which starts, we're going to walk through that tomorrow. And then what we'll do is we will finish the book through the weekend. There's a couple like extras in the back. On Monday, we're going to start Atomic Habits, but on Monday, we're going to start the 30-day challenge. So it will go into July. And all it is you're going to have to decide if you're committed to doing the Miracle Morning. I'll just briefly talk about it in the lives. Here's your day 1. Here's your day 2. How are you doing? It's up to you to check in. I'm not going to come and find you. But I will allow you, or not allow you, but give you a platform or give you a place to come in and check in. What's great is this isn't just about me. This is about so many people on here. So it's always great if you want to go through and scroll through the comments to encourage others. Like if you have an encouraging spirit and that is you love to reach out, help hold people accountable, you can do that here. Just scroll through and encourage people. Whether their goal is drinking more water or not hitting the snooze button or getting up to work out, you be an encourager. This is a community. This is not just about our family. So the last part he said was this: the Miracle Morning 30-Day Transformation Challenge will enable you to overcome your own self-imposed limitations so that you can be and do and have everything that you want in your life faster than you ever thought possible. Can you give yourself 30 days? Do you think you could do it? Could you go from unbearable to, oh shoot, I've lost the word. Unbearable to uncomfortable to unstoppable. That's the last part of the 30 days. The Miracle Morning is a life-changing daily habit, and while most people who try it love it from day one, getting yourselves to follow through for 30 days will make it a habit. That is the key. We want to not just feel good about ourselves, but to create a long-term lifestyle so where you don't just give up after you get to the body that you want to look like or the wedding date or the vacation date, but you create a lifestyle. And that's what we talk about here on this page. It's not just flipping the way that you eat to make it so you get to that vacation and then you're done. It's to create a long-term lifestyle so you feel great for the rest of your life. So I think that chapter is great. The last chapter, he's just going to lay out the 30 days. So we'll talk about this tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. For me, if you're across the world, you're midway through your day. I forget how that works. And then we're going to dive into this on Monday. So if you don't have the book and you can grab it. If you want to just follow along, I will highlight most of it every single morning. And then for those who've been asking, I'm going to keep going through books because I read every single day. So I thought I might as well take you through it. Are you liking this part of it? And maybe you tune out and you just watch all of the recipes and the tips and tricks. That's great. But I will be doing a live every single day. It holds me accountable. I want to help hold you accountable because I think reading is so, so powerful. And then this is the book we're going to go through in July. So I actually had the opportunity and was super blessed to be able to talk on Andy Andrews' podcast, which was incredible, and just got to chat with him and meet him via Zoom. And so this is our July book. I think I'm going to give some of these away. So be watching throughout the page. I'll be giving some of these away for the next 2 weeks. I have a handful of them. And then you can also go and order it. But this is July's book. It is incredible. It's going to give you a completely different perspective for the rest of your life. Every single person that I've had read this book or I've gifted the book to, they're like, I have to go buy this for my mom or my friend or whoever because the book is amazing. My daughter read it. She thought it was amazing. I have not heard one bad review. It will give you a different perspective for the rest of your life. So we're going to finish creating habits. We're going to work on your perspective. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do for August. So let me think about that one. But that's all we've got. These are awesome. I would love to know how you're liking reading if you just started. I would love to know how you feel like your habits are going. And then continue to tune in for more tips and tricks and ideas, all that has to do with low carb and keto, but also mindset. So I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good morning, and we'll talk to you soon.